Hey guys, just got back from Virginia Beach. We did sort of weekend a week trip out there for my cousin's wedding, and but we went ahead of the wedding to I already know there's nothing down there, but my wife is very interested to with our kids just take them around and see Virginia, see a part of our great country, which apparently isn't so great. The kids had a great time. We did the museums, the actual Virginia Beach itself, the strip. We spent like a whole day down there. And then we spent other days doing other things. We went to Portsmouth. We did the Juneteenth. They had a couple of celebrations. We went to one of those at the Children's Museum, which is really nice. But my overall experience of this trip was eye-opening in one. I realized America is totally different in 2021 than it was in 2019. It's a different country we're living in. It's a very different country living in. The one thing, and it didn't take me to realize a while to realize this, is that we didn't rent a car because one, the car rental in Virginia, in Norfolk, for the week we were there for six or 7 days, was more than the hotel rate. It was like over $1,000 for a little Toyota Corolla. And my wife realized once the weekend of the wedding, we weren't really gonna be moving around much. So we just Ubered everywhere we went to save money on our trip. Because we realized we weren't going to be doing much outside of the, inside the wedding weekend. We had about 5 days of exploring. Good thing about Norfolk, it's a walk-in city. You could walk a lot of places, which was nice. But my disappointment was, well, the one thing I realized, we took Uber. Because we took Uber, I'm a grown man and taking taxis for over 20 years in New York, all over the world, all over the country, Paris, England, all over. I've never, ever, that I can remember seeing a single white female, just on one occasion, in all my 20 plus years of taking cabs, a single white female opening the door and saying, "Mr. Johnson, I'm here to pick you up." Can't ever remember. My law firm, we do black car service all the time. I've been taking car service in my law firm for there's a couple of these companies, these black cab companies, over almost 20 years. Never once have I seen a female driver, right? Go to Virginia, post-pandemic. Every single Uber, except for the last one on the way back to the airport, and we're talking over like 20 occasions of taking Uber cabs. Everyone, single white female. And not like young kids, not like a 19-year-old kid, but like an adult woman with pictures of kids in the car, and never seen that before. And these weren't like, they didn't look like, I don't wanna come across wrong, but they didn't seem like lower income or poor, uneducated women. They were very educated, because I mean, we Uber Virginia, if you've been down there's traffic. And you're in an Uber for a while, and we spoke to them about what out of town, obviously, and these are very intelligent women that I could see working at a law firm or doctor's office or doing something. And I'm sure they do have professions outside of what the Uber hustle, but these aren't stupid people or drug addicts or meth addicts. These are functioning adults, intelligent adult people that are doing Uber. And I'm thinking to myself, growing up in New York, I know how dangerous taxi service is for men. But to see single white female doing this thing. And you could tell by the look of them, I believe Virginia is a red state, they're all basically Trump people. To some degree. Not like, I don't think the intense degree of Trump people, but you could see they might have voted for Donald Trump in the last 8 years, or a Republican in the last couple of years, and that's fine with me. But it was just funny to see that happening in Virginia, in a rural, semi-rural, up-and-coming place, to see all these white women hustling Uber to make money. And I don't think you think about it. There's a lot of things you would do before Uber. And I know we're told the economy down there is opening back up. The hotel we stayed at, and that's part of what made the experience miserable. We had fun at the wedding. We had fun with my family. But the overall vacation experience, for the money we spent, I was telling my wife on the way back, on the flight back, it was one of the worst vacation bargains, I think. For the money we spent and what we got in terms of hotel service, in terms of restaurant service, very, very subpar. 1 star in every degree. Not because the franchises, we stayed at the Sheraton in Norfolk, we dined around that area, we dined in Virginia Beach, up and down that beach, almost, Waterman's we went to, that was the most recommended place for us to go to, right? But we went to Surfside, there's a couple other ones down by Virginia Beach, for, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, whatever. Menus are all the same, not enough people working, no one wants to go back to work is what we complain to the management, why is this taking so long? We don't have a cook, we don't have a server, we have a short no one's coming back to work. And I was talking to the hotel manager, she's like, yeah, we just opened up Memorial Weekend. This is now mid-June, Father's Day weekend, and she's like, yeah, no one's coming back to work, we have no housekeepers, our restaurant staff is so undernourished, it's like one or two people going back and forth. Primarily older immigrant women, they look like Central American, Filipino, great people, but because you're so short-staffed, right? And it's not taking anything back from the hard-working people. And that's what's so disappointing with me, is that apart from the white women Uber driving, right? In this day and age, post-pandemic, when businesses are opening back up, which is what all these people wanted. Oh, I want to go back to this. I want to go have dinner. I want to eat out. I want to do this. I want to have, whatever. The only people that's going back to work are immigrants. Isn't that funny, right? Donald Trump his whole election thing was running and opening back up and getting Americans back working again. Where's my African Americans, right? And I remember the last day we left the hotel, I saw a Hispanic lady trading like 5 young black girls. And I could tell they're definitely African American, they're not immigrants, right? You could tell they're just out of high school. Or college or whatever age, and I could see in their faces as we were pushing our luggage past the hallway, as they're being trained how to make beds and do this and do whatever. I could see in their faces like they're like, I don't think I want to spend my summer doing this, yo. I'm going back to the crib and I'm gonna keep collecting my unemployment checks. I could see on their faces they don't give a shit. I work with kids, I work with young adults, so I know what that look looks like. When you tell someone to do something and you can see the wheels turning, they're like, minimum wage, doing this shit, or going back home and chilling, maybe doing something I want to do. And that's the thing that a lot of Republicans say, these people are lazy, they don't want to work. No, you could go home and make YouTube videos, collect a check, and make money on YouTube, or do Instagram nonsense, right? So it's not like they're going home to sleep all day or play video games. These people are going home to do something, especially younger people. Go home to do something creative. Because when I was 19, 20, I wasn't sleeping on the couch all day. I was out the door. Well, who's doing what? What's going on? Let's do something. Let's go to the beach. Let's go out. Right? And and put a check on that and say, you're unemployed, here's a check. Right? I could tell they don't want to go back to doing minimum wage or even start the resume doing minimum wage stuff when you stay home and do something creative and get a check. Right? But what we have that saved our trip, right? We would have checked out of our hotel and say, we don't want to do this. Right? It's almost over $1,000 to stay at a hotel like that. It's not even a resort, all inclusive. It's an average ass American hotel. We would have left had it not been the immigrant staff at that hotel. We didn't get housekeeping. We have small kids. The second day, my son diapers leaked on the second bed. We couldn't get the sheets replaced. Right? My wife was in the bathroom washing the sheets in the tub with our shampoo or whatever. Right? But the restaurant experience, the overall hotel experience was saved by immigrant workers. Doing shit that Americans were like, you know what, F this, I'm going to stay home and get my check. I'm not doing that. Right? So when you people talk about dirty, greasy immigrants, right? Coming to rape and kill and whatever the F Donald Trump told y'all to do, it's BS, right? And I came back to New York and I told all my neighbors, don't travel right now. If you're going to do something, go to Mexico, go to Punta Cana, go to Europe, go other places. Because in America right now, if you go to California, go out of state and somewhere, like a resort or a hotel situation where you need services to make your visit there pleasant. You need some sort of service, right? I have a friend of mine who's doing a road trip through Wyoming, Utah, all that stuff. he's fine, right? He's eating out various places, he's fine. But if you have a family, you need services, don't do it. You're wasting your money, you're going to waste your time, it's not going to be pleasant, it's not going to be pre-pandemic vacationing, it's going to be 2021 dog shit vacationing where no one's out there working, you sitting at a tourist restaurant, tourist spot, waiting hours for service. One day we went to this place called Striper's, Norfolk Waterfront, Water Street. We literally, I'm not even kidding, we came back from Portsmouth, Juneteenth, went in there for lunch, with 2 small kids, sat down, I think at the end of the lunch service, the ferry came back, it was cool, maybe 2:30, 2:40, it was 2:40. I remember we landed at 2:40, we were like, what are we going to eat? Walked over, it's like maybe 3 o'clock. End of the lunch, it was literally end of the lunch service because people were leaving as we were coming in. I could tell. There's if you ever worked in hospitality, there's a space between lunch and dinner service, and even breakfast, brunch, and lunch service. It's like an hour empty, where the restaurant empties out and you see new patrons come in that are dressed for dinner, right? The sandals, the flip-flops and shorts leave, and the dress shoes and slacks come in, kind of a thing. You notice that. My first job was an aisle attendant when I was like 14 or 15 out of high school. And one second, I think the doorbell's ringing. And we sat in this restaurant, 30 minutes, didn't get a server until I flagged someone down, and he's like, oh, I'll get who the person is. Person came around, he goes, oh, I didn't know you were seated here. I'm doing this other side, and this is my side, I'm so sorry. And the kids were antsy. If you ever ate with toddlers, it's a nightmare. It should be a profession in itself. So we're like, all right, boom. Kids want French fries. My daughter wants pasta. My son wants chicken nuggets and fries. Put that in now, right? And drinks or whatever for the kids. And good thing we did that, because this was like 3:20, 3:30. We did not get our meals until, I'm not even making this up, until after 4:30, right? Of sitting there in this restaurant. And then when we got our meals, it was so bad. My wife ordered a steak salad. It's on Google. Striper's, look it up. Olaf Johnson Google reviews. Pictures of it. Steak salad. It was like $20. It was unedible. It's the fatty section of the steak. Then strips. How do you mess strips of steaks up? Salad was just unedible. I had a cheeseburger. A bacon cheeseburger. If you're not into seafood, don't go to Virginia. Virginia Beach area. Because everything is seafood. And and this was our 5th day there, I was just tired of eating she crab soup and calamari. And it wasn't even good calamari, good she crab soup. It's like a paste. It's literally like a dip, like a paste. Tired of eating that shit. Just bacon cheeseburgers. And the bacon cheeseburger, medium, was like eating a cement brick. It was heavy, it was overdone. We don't have a cook here, we just got like a temp working. We're short servers, right? And then to leave, bill's like $90 something with a 20% tip on it. We're not tipping. I don't tip for shit like that. Because when you tip for bad service, right? You take away. If you think about it, if you're going to pay someone for horrible service, you take away from someone that's doing good service. It takes away from them, right? I'm not tipping for this. We saw a server twice in the space of almost 3 hours. Whilst we're sitting there, tables with other servers turned over twice. Where people came, sat down, ate, left, and we're still sitting there. Wondering if we're going to eat food or what. And I even want to leave. I'm like, yo, honey, let's get out of here, man. We're from New York. And New York, we're used to waiting for stuff. So it's not even like I'm impatient. I'm used to waiting for food. When you go to Manhattan, Midtown, Times Square, you wait like an hour to get in the restaurant. And you sit down and you wait some more to eat. I've done that tons of times. Fine. Right? Because the food is good, the service is good. That's why we wait in line to eat in New York City. Right? I'm not waiting for shit service. And then 20% tip after? Oh, hell no. Manager, come, let's talk. You saw us come in at like 2:50. It's almost 5 o'clock now. Right? And we just got our food like 20, 30 minutes ago. What do you think I should tip? Oh, I'm sorry. Here's some coupons, whatever. I'm like, nah, we're from out of town. We never come back here. Writing a review. Boom. And I'm a nice guy. I'm easygoing, not picky when it comes to eating out. I don't even like to eat out, right? I could care less. But if you wait 2 hours for really bad food, and it was unedible, I couldn't eat. It's the first time in my life I couldn't eat a cheeseburger. My son couldn't eat his chicken fingers because it wasn't cooked through. The bread was the bread crust was sliding over the chicken. That's how undercooked the chicken was inside the crust. Right? So this is, it's like I was telling my friend on Facebook who actually had a similar experience to me. She goes, oh, all the restaurants are open up, but the service is really bad wherever we go. And she's a Trumper, Republican from Staten Island or Long Island, I don't care. And I'm looking at her post on Facebook, and I explain to her why this is. Right? It's like COVID, the pandemic of 2020. Pull a little thread of this fabric of American society that everyone thinks is so great. Keep America great again. Make America great again. America's a great country. Right? Well, we had to bail the farmers out last summer. Everyone forgot about the $50 billion that bailed out the farmers, right? Little thread. COVID was little thread. Like, solvable. We've had SARS pandemics before. Going back 20 fucking years. It's not the first SARS pandemic we've encountered, right? COVID was a little different, but we knew what we had to do, right? It wasn't rocket science what we had to do. But we're here and it's fine. Milk has been spilled, not crying over that. Little thread was pulled in the sleeve, right? Little thread. COVID was a little thread. Because of our leadership in this country we had in 2020. And because of our understanding that this country is so great and so impenetrable and we're stronger and we don't need allies and we're America first, right? Because of that attitude in 2020, that little COVID thread, could have clipped it, could have ignored it, like Ebola, like SARS, like the swine flu, like the mad cow. You could have clipped it, moved on with our lives. No. America's great. We don't have to do nothing. I don't got to wear a mask. I don't got to get vaccinated. Whatever. Thread pulled out, and now we're here, right? Unraveled every fucking fuck-ups in this country, right? We pay people minimum wage, and then lay them off. The first sign of, oh my God, I'm not getting customers. The government is shutting my restaurant down. So I have to let my employees go. And I see people on TV, restaurant owners, crying, oh, I had to let my employees go home because, no one's coming to eat because the Democrats shut our place down because of the pandemic. Right? Fucking 500,000 people died. 1,000 people die in a day. Who the fuck is going to go eat out? Even if your restaurant was open. Right? You got to have a brain to think, you know what? Shit, people are dying. I might not be seeing it, but it's on the news. People are dying. Every day, every fucking day you hear people dying. How many people dying? Whether you believe it or not, you have to assume other people are looking at this and thinking, you know what? Maybe I'm going to stay home and not go out and get a cheeseburger and end up killing my mom or my grandma or getting sick. I'm not going to eat out. Of course your fucking business is going to plummet. You lean back. And then you say, all right, come up with a plan to get through this. It's not going to be a lifetime pandemic. It's probably going to be a couple of months to a year. But no, you lay everyone off, and now things are opening up. People are vaccinated. Don't have to wear a mask anymore. I want to go out and get a burger. I want to go stay at a hotel in Virginia. Shit. You guys want to come back to work for $8 an hour, $6 an hour? And these are the same fucking idiots that didn't want to raise the minimum wage. Last year or something, December, November, a lot of my Republican friends, I remember sitting on the couch after the election, my friend Mike told me, raising the minimum wage would destroy this country, right? Because it will give people an incentive to work. Even my neighbor upstairs, Dwayne, telling me, oh, if you pay people in a minimum wage job, a higher salary. They're gonna want to stay there and work forever instead of incentivizing them to go back to school and do something with their lives and be a professional, right? You keep high school students or immigrants in that position. So if you raise the minimum wage, you destroy the country. You destroy the country is what they kept saying. Well, I don't know what happened in some states that maybe kept them, and I know Virginia might be one of them, but this is exactly what happens, right? Humans aren't numbers. We're very unpredictable, right? I know you could, when it comes to math and accounting, numbers fit into place. Statistics help us see forward what may happen in certain circumstances. But when it comes to human behavior, human nature, or the nature of any living organism on the planet, right? I was setting up a zipline course yesterday, and one of the camp director was saying something about the trees. A guide wire is supporting 50% of the force exerted by the zip line is a guide wire going to a pine tree. And as we're setting it up and we're zipping, the zip line course is literally doing this. As we had a big guy, about 200 pounds, zipping through it. And I'm looking at that, I'm like, are you sure about that? Right? And I had to tell him, like, listen, I know it might be a big oak tree that's been there for hundreds of years or 50 years or whatever, but living organisms, trees, from trees to insects to humans, are unpredictable, right? You don't know what's going to happen, how we will react to environmental changes, right? The weather might have rained a lot. The roots would have been loose in that tree. We don't know that. Some of the big zips and, something bad happened. Unpredictable, right? So to say to see Republicans complain about getting bad service, right? It just hurts. It doesn't hurt. I don't care what their opinions are. At this point, I'm like, we're all Americans. And the only thing that divides us, it's not even politics anymore. It's just common fucking sense. And what I like to call myopic thinking, right? I wake up, I see white cabinets. I see my cabinets are white and they're clean, right? My kitchen is all white. I cannot imagine, because I'm myopic thinking, that someone in my neighborhood or someone on another side of the planet could have black cabinets. That's what Republican voters tend to think. They can't imagine someone else having something that's different, that's different than what they have, or looks different, or feels different. They don't have that. Maybe it's a part of the brain that's a physical structure that's underappreciated or something, or shriveled up, but they don't have that ability to think outside of their scope of vision to see, oh, my neighbor next door could have black cabinets, and that'd be cool. Doesn't mean my cabinets are bad, right? Doesn't mean I'm evil, right? Just someone else could have something else that's different than mine. Someone could think a different way. Someone could be right, and I could be right too, right? So anyway, that's a wrap up of that. How's it going, guys?